concerned about that.
Couple more questions here for you, Mike. Tell me why, and tell me if you're concerned about this. Um, you're going down the same lane as Kevin Patullo. Why will it be different from a year ago to this year when you have a first-year play caller? And a year ago, they elevated from within. They go out and they bring in, and then they're going out and obviously getting Chris Cooper too to replace Stoutland. Why will
Yeah.
this year be different than last year when it comes to play calling, when basically both guys were inexperienced play callers?
Well, we don't know that it will be. You have to be optimistic. So I think if you look at the history of bringing in people to run the football operations, the call plays, and the coaches, and um, through Jeffrey Lurie, Howard Reed's tenure, I think they've been pretty darn good. If you look at the success that Jeffrey has had as an owner, with an Andy Reid as the head coach, with what Doug Peterson was able to do, with what's going on now, um, you have to, and I understand that the current offensive
Hopefully, we're able to get him back here and we get a chance to finish up the interview here because we'll. And listen, again, and I don't know if it's going to be different. And I don't know if we're going to see KP 2.0. And he's right. Okay, so at the end of the day here, you got to go back and you got to figure out whether or not you're going to get something different from Sean Mannion. Now, what you like with what Jalen is saying is Jalen's saying that he's being explained here. So again, Mike, finish that up what you were saying about Sean Mannion being different than what you think maybe Kevin Patullo brought to the table last year.
Well, I just think it's a completely different situation. Sean Mannion is a man who played in this league for a long time. He was a quarterback in this league, and I think those guys. He was a backup quarterback for the most part, and I think those guys, for whatever reason, end up being excellent head coaches. Um, Sean Mannion talks about even considering. Well, he was thinking about where he is now, even as a player, because he knew that he wanted to go into coaching. So to have a guy with that background, I think I would be a little more optimistic about what he brings as opposed to what happened here last year. The fact that he understands the system, he understands quarterbacking, there's a lot that he brings, a lot of intangibles that he brings to the party that just simply was not there in the previous regime. So because of that, I'm optimistic. Chris Cooper, another guy, you mentioned the offensive line coach, Coop. He also played in the league for a long, long time and realized late in his tenure that he wanted to go into coaching. He thought it would just last. It's funny, I just had a conversation with him. He thought that he would just do it for a little bit, and he ends up now, it's 11 years now he's been coaching. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Mike, to your point, if you look at Jeffrey Lurie since 2000, every
Yeah,
single coach that he's hired, even Chip Kelly, has had a winning record.
yeah.
So, I mean, to your process of what you're talking about, what they're thinking hiring particular coaches, you're dead on with that there. So, you prefer guys who have played in the game as being assistant coaches? Because if you go back to 17, think about what happened there. And we've had
Yeah,
Doug Peterson on our program. You had Frank Wright, a backup quarterback. You had Doug
yeah,
Peterson, a backup quarterback, and you won a Super Bowl with a
yeah.
backup quarterback. Do you
Correct.
like that the player has or the coach has had a little bit of playing time to be able to connect with his players?
I absolutely do. Not to say that you can't be successful as a coach without that. I don't think that um, it's a prerequisite for being an excellent coach. But I do think that there are things that you gain through the experience of being in the league that you're able to help guys in some ways that guys who haven't not necessarily can. I do believe that. I do believe that there are details. There are some problem solving that needs to go along, that has to go on. That when you've been there before, you understand these things and you're able to share a little bit more of intimate detail because you have done it before. So, yeah, I mean, I when I go through staffs, Dan, when the team's about to play, I always go through the players, personnel, of course, but I always look at the staffs and I'll look to see how much NFL experience is on their staff because I do think that there's some value in that. It's not the be all end all, but there's value in that.
Last question for you, Mike. Do you see the same thing I see in Jalen Carter? You know,
Ah,
people forget.
ah.
People forget about Jerome when he first came. I played with Jerome at Miami, and
Yep,
so
I know.
he was my running mate. And that guy, how about him being on his motorcycle in the parking lot going 130 miles an hour, going through all the birds and all that, and everybody kept going out there going, "Hey, Jerome, little bit, you got to be a little bit more focused," or Buddy getting on his ass on that Monday night when it came to
Yeah,
that Giants game. So I
yep,
see a little bit of the same guy. You think Carter has the same ability as Jerome did, and you think he can be that kind of player?
absolutely. Yeah, he's fun to watch. And when he's, Jerome, Reggie, guys like that, when they decided that you're not going to block me, you really are not going to block him. But Jerome was just when he decided that he wanted to be a menace, he had it. He could turn it on. Reggie was the same way. This young man, I absolutely believe that he is one of these guys. If you decide that you're gonna block him with one offensive lineman, good luck, because it's not gonna happen. He's too quick, too strong, and he's learning so much. The defensive line coach Clint Hurt, he's so very good. Another guy who's an ex-player, but he's so very good at giving these guys what they need, the tools mentally as well as physically, teaching them every little detail that they need to be successful. And I'm watching Jalen at practice now, and he's now coaching up some of the guys that are behind him. I'm watching him. It, like Uar Bernard, the the international player that's now on, and Jalen spending time with Uar, just trying to show him the little details of playing the position. I'd like to see the growth in these guys like that. Not only am I this guy who can wreck a game, but I want to teach you, the guy behind me, how to do some of the things that I'm doing, and that's kind of fun to watch for me.
Clint Hurt, another hurricane, so I'm glad we got that on the table there with him, as I think he'll be the next DC for you guys after Vic decides to hang him up someday. By the way, how's the golf game coming?
Oh, I don't play golf anymore.
Oh, come on. Merrill said you're always out there killing it.
Yeah,
You're like a scratch golfer. You don't play anymore? What happened?
I took the year off.
Really?
I did. Yeah.
Hey, man, by the way, let me sneak this in on you. 50th anniversary of Merrill,
Huh.
him calling. And you've been kind of right there with him. What a great team you guys have been. And you got another year coming up this year. What's
Yep.
it been
Yep.
like working with Merrill?
Um, it's I could not have imagined landing in a better spot. I know that he is royalty, and I know that I'm living with royalty every day that I sit down with him, and it's very special um, to have a guy who's been in this business for so long, had so much success, and for a big part of it now, I've been able to go along with him, sit beside him. Every Batman needs a Robin, and I'm just happy to be Robin to my Batman, Merrill Reese.
Man, you guys got 2 Super Bowl rings. I
Yeah,
mean, you've been to the Super Bowls. Mike, who would have ever thought a kid from NC State coming out of college, playing as many years as you did, that you'd
yeah.
spend your entire life in Philadelphia playing for the team and then covering the team that you loved?
Yep, it's been such a blessing, no doubt.
Absolutely. Mike, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate you doing this.
All right, Dan, be well.
You got it. The great Mike Quick joins us here.